Our sermon scripture this morning is a scripture that was particularly influential on Martin Luther King. Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 through 48. Let us listen for the words of the Lord. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But anyone who strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give up your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs of you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. You have heard it said that you should love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers and sisters, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
Would you please pray with me? Lord God, we thank you for this opportunity to hear your word once more. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Speak, Lord. Give us ears to hear and hearts to understand. For it's in your name we pray. Amen. So there's a lot in these 10 verses, and there's no way I can cover all of it or we will be here all day. But one particular word really stood out to me. Not really in a good way, might I add. Perfect. Be perfect. Have you ever heard that phrase, perfection is overrated? It's a phrase I've heard a lot. It's a phrase that I use when I fall short of goals that I've set for myself yet again, or when I don't really feel like putting in the effort. But being perfect is really an obsession for so many in our society. When I turned 30 years old, a friend of mine sent me this email. It's off of a website for Glamour magazine. So that's the source, just letting you all know. But by 30, every woman should have one boyfriend you can imagine going back to, and one who reminds you of how far you've come. A decent piece of furniture, not owned by anyone else in your family. Something perfect to wear if the employer or man of your dreams wants to see you in an hour. A purse, a suitcase, and an umbrella you're not embarrassed to be seen carrying. A youth you're content to move beyond, but a past juicy enough that you're looking forward to retelling it in your old age. The realization that you will have an old age and some money set aside to help finance it. An email address, voicemail, and bank account, all of which no one else has access to but you. A resume that's not even the slightest bit padded. One friend who makes you laugh, and one that lets you cry. A set of screwdrivers, a cordless drill, and a lace bra. Something ridiculously expensive that you bought for yourself just because you deserve it, and the belief that you deserve it. A skincare regimen, an exercise routine, and a plan for dealing with those other facets of life that don't get better after 30. A solid start on a satisfying career, a satisfying relationship, and all those other facets of life that do get better with age. Wow. When my friend sent this to me, if she'd sent it to me now, I'd have a completely different different response. Let me just put it that way. But when she sent it to me, I took it as yet another list of rules and regulations that I would never live up to. It was another way, yet again, for me to judge myself unworthy. You know, in our society, we, especially women, but men as well, we struggle to be like the images we see. The images that we see in magazines, the stories we hear online or on television or on the radio. Never mind the fact that all of these things have been retouched and sanitized to the point that any shadow of real has faded. We're faced with ideals of being the perfect wife, or the perfect father, the perfect child. And even though these ideals are outdated at best and downright impossible at worst, they still seem to permeate our lives. And so when I read the words from the gospel this morning, be perfect because your heavenly Father is perfect, I know that there are many out there who read these words and react as I do. Great, another thing to mess up at this week. But remember, the very definition of the word gospel is good news. So there must be some good news in all of this perfect talk. Now, Jesus hasn't taken us through this reimagining of Levitical laws to leave us feeling down in the dumps, to leave us hopeless. No, these words are meant to encourage, to enliven, to uplift us, to support us for the journey that we're to go on. I was directed by a friend to a quote from William Barclay on the word teleos, that is translated perfect. He uses an amazingly simple analogy to get at the meaning of teleos. So you have a piece of furniture with a loose screw, and you want to tighten it up. You want to make it right. So in order to do this, you need a screwdriver that's the right size and weight for your hand. The screwdriver also needs to be the right size to fit the screw. And this will enable you to tighten, to fix the joint, to make the furniture fit for its purpose. In the Greek sense of the word, the screwdriver is teleos, or perfect, because it's fulfilled the purpose for which it is wanted. Thus, humanity will be teleos if we fulfill the purpose for which we were created. You see, this perfection is not about conforming to an ideal of what we should look like, act like, think like, move like. It's fulfilling the purpose that God designed us to fulfill. Big sigh of relief, right? Good. I don't have to stress out about perfection. I don't have to worry about living up to a list of standards that are so high I get nosebleeds just looking at them. All I have to do, it's really simple, is find my purpose and live into it. Wait. All I have to do is find my purpose. That existential question that plagues all of us from our teenage years to our older years. Through the choosing of our college majors, to the choosing of our spouses, to the choosing of what we're going to do in retirement. The big, who am I and what am I doing here? Great. So now I go from mild anxiety to a full-fledged panic attack. But hold on. Throughout the season of Epiphany, Jesus has been reminding us, telling us who we are. Remember? Reminding us that we're children of God. God is calling us. God says we are salt. We are light. We are God's field, God's building, God's body. We are blessed. We are loved. Throughout the 5th chapter of Matthew, Jesus has been telling us that life is much more than anything we've ever dreamed it to be. It's not about being powerful and being in charge. It's not about putting other people down so that we can feel lifted up. It's not about oppression. It's about living a life of loving freedom. And today's scripture is no different. This morning, Jesus invites us all to live a life that's so much better than the one we are currently experiencing. Let us remember that the people Jesus spoke to lived as an oppressed people. There in the promised land, they were watched over by a foreign occupying force. They were living under Roman control. The Romans had their own rules when it came to justice. The Romans had their own rules when it came to the way to live. And Jesus was reminding the people that God's rule for their lives was not the same as Roman rule. Christ called the people of his day and us to live in ways that are countercultural. Don't be obsessed with getting what's yours. Don't look out for number one. Open your eyes to people in need. Jesus says, give, lend, go the extra mile. Doesn't that sound good? Wouldn't a world lived by these principles be a kinder, gentler world? What would it look like? I don't know how many of you have seen the movie 42. It's about Jackie Robinson. If you haven't seen it, even if you're not into sports movies, watch it. There's this one scene in the movie where Branch Rickey, who's the owner of the Dodgers, is talking to Jackie Robinson. And Jackie Robinson was to become the first black baseball player in the major leagues. And they're having this kind of back and forth talk to see if Robinson could really have what it takes to navigate the barriers, or navigate breaking down the barriers that stood in his way. Jackie Robinson says, "You want a player that doesn't have the guts to fight back?" And Branch Rickey responds, No, I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back. People aren't going to like this. They're going to do anything they can to get you to react. Echo a curse with a curse, and they'll only hear yours. Follow a blow with a blow, and they'll say that black man lost his temper, or that black man doesn't belong. Your enemy will be out in force, and you can't meet him on his own low ground. We win with hitting, running, fielding. Only that. We win if the world is convinced of two things: that you're a fine gentleman and a great baseball player, like our Savior. You gotta have the guts to turn the other cheek. Can you do it? Jackie Robinson looks up and says, "You give me a uniform, you give me a number on my back, and I'll give you the guts." Jesus calls us to love our neighbor in tangible ways, in ways that might be uncomfortable. And he makes it very clear today who our neighbor is. It includes those that we might call our enemies, not just the people who think and act like us. You see, this is what we're designed to do, to be the salt and light to a world in need of preservation and removal from darkness. Jesus told us that his holiness was contagious, not our uncleanliness. It's not about just loving and caring for those who love us, because really that's easy. It's about loving those who despise us, who differ from us, who are fundamentally opposed to us. My friends, we're called to be telios, to be perfect as God is perfect, to fulfill our purpose, to love with the love of God. That's a tall order. It's a challenging one, but it's one that you and I are designed to do. So friends, be perfect. Be perfect in love. Loving out of the love that God first showed us. To the world, it might look foolish, but love is the best and wisest choice we will ever